Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and this is Gloom of Kilforth Part 7. In our last video, we actually spent about half of our hero turn using 2 AP to get ourselves all the way over here to the Grand Plains where we plan to complete our chapter card, our very first chapter card. I'm really excited to do that because it's been a long time coming. I really wanted to get past that first mark. Now, there's a couple things I want to clear up before we move forward with the gameplay. So I want to ensure everything is in check. So we're going to go through a couple things. I think there's 3 or 4 maybe. So the very first thing that I'm going to make mention of is event cards. Now, I just want to make mention, this is not a mistake on my part, but just me trying to thematically keep the look and feel of the world changing in play. But technically, if you're playing by the rules, event cards such as things like Civil War that state event would not stay in play after they're played. They're in play for their particular time frame, but you can see here it takes Sprawl City and puts it into Civil War as an event, but it does not need to be anywhere on the actual game mat. So this, I'm going to go ahead for now and take it out of our playthrough. It allows for less confusion by having less cards on the table, and events are not supposed to sit around. The other one that happened a little bit back was the Orc Assassin. Remember that guy came in and took out the tribal chiefess that was over here in the Spine Ridge Pass. He assassinated her, and we don't need him. He's an event. Again, the same type of thing happens, and he's discarded from play. So again, we're just kind of clearing up the board here to ensure that there's no confusion when we start moving through these cards in the near future, okay? So that's the very first thing. Second thing, a really good suggestion, and again, sorry, that one there came from Stefan. The next one came from 3D Carrera Freak. I sure hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so basically what he was saying was I was having issues with the die counters and stuff like that. He said to just drop them on top of the night deck. I think that's a great idea. We're always using the faces that are facing toward us, so 6 and 4 is 10, meaning we have 10 night cards currently in play. Okay, I like that idea by keeping it on top because it forces me to have to flip it as I pull night cards. I like that. The next thing to make mention of is, let's see, Nick, he made mention of rumor card. Oh, this is a big one, okay? And we're going to talk about this one in a second. But first, the one I want to make a correction of was one that happened, I think, 2 videos back. We fought and took out what was the troll at the time. You'll notice, though, when a battle round starts with him, the troll heals 1 HP. I played 2 rounds with him in order to get 4 successes, meaning one of those was going to be healed, so I actually didn't get enough, but I rolled 3 successes in one battle round. So what I'm going to do, and I had said this in a video a couple videos ago, but I forgot to actually do it, I'm going to take my fate, sadly, to use this to ensure that he would have died at the time. Okay, meaning we have no more fate tokens to use to add a guaranteed success to our future, encounters and things like that. But we can always discard rumors to get the exact same effect. Okay, but this is just going to clear things up in terms of how I went about killing that troll. The big one, though, guys, that I don't know what I did at the end of the last video, but I blocked it. I must have been so excited when I got to the Grand Plains to complete my chapter. But you'll notice when you try to complete a chapter, you need a Plains keyword, a Badlands, and a Stranger. Well, guess what I did, guys? I took the Rosen Crusader, who the whole reason I went after him was to get him for the Stranger keyword because I need him along with the Plains keyword here, and I believe the Badlands one from here. I need to discard these 3 in order to complete this chapter. I chucked this card in order to get the Pastor. So what I'm going to do, because if I don't do this, I'm not able to complete the chapter, and this was a complete mistake on my part. I never normally would do this in a playthrough like by myself off camera, and I don't even like doing this now. But in order to clean this up so that we can continue on the playthrough, I'm going to take this and fire it back into the ally deck. For now, I will put it on the bottom, but I will be shuffling this into the deck so I don't know where it ends up later. Just wanted to clarify we were going to keep the Rosen Crusader, because otherwise, as we start the playthrough right now with 2 AP left and trying to go ahead and do a regale action, I wouldn't even have been able to complete the quest. But guys, because we got everything squared away, we can finally go ahead here and get this thing done. So when you do a regale action, you still have to spend your 1 AP. Now, there can't be... A regale action allows a hero to complete a Saga chapter, or Saga, I said Saga, wow. Saga chapter, and... or attempt to complete a finale within one of these sets, essentially. We have chapter 1 here in front of us, so we have to, in order to complete this one, spend 5 gold. Thankfully, after being robbed many times throughout the playthrough, I have 5 gold. That feels good because I've even had 6 at one point and it was all taken from me. I did go ahead and complete the 1 regale action, and now how we actually resolve keywords is very interesting. So you can you resolve them in order, and we have to resolve for the stranger because we're playing solo as well. We can either choose to discard 1 rumor that has one of these keywords. So in other words, we'll be doing that because all the keywords that I have are in my hand, so we'll be discarding them because in your hand are rumors. Assets are in play, and you can use the keywords that are in play, but the cool thing about that is if I use an asset that's in play, you can either keep the asset, which is really cool, in play, or you can discard it in order to get half the value of the gold on the card into your hand. The problem is I only have Horse Rider, Title, and Steed are the keywords, neither of which are on this card, so I will not be doing that. I'll be doing 3 discards. I will be taking the Rosen Crusader, using it for the Stranger keyword. I'm going to be using the Watchman in order to get the Plains keyword. And then I'm going to be using the Black Orc for the Badlands keyword. So at this point, we discard all of those. Our hand size goes down dramatically, although remember we can use these for rumors as we go forward. And we have completed our first chapter. Wow, that took quite a bit of effort, I can tell you. And I'm sure you don't need to be told because you've been following along. So what we're going to do next is talk about what happens when a Sagat chapter is completed. So the first thing you do is the hero must increase their maximum health by 1 and their HP by 1, representing by taking a token from the token pool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a token from the token pool, and our max health is going to go up. So that's really cool. The thing that's not going to change, guys, this is very important, our AP does not increase based on the number of hearts. It still stays to 4. Okay, so that's something to note. But our health we're getting stronger, and that's essentially the whole idea of this. We're leveling up. The next thing we're going to do is something that I'm really excited about, and that is gaining a skill. We've never been able to look at these cards before, but you'll see they're noted there with a number 1, so because this is the first time we're leveling up, we can take both the cards that associate themselves with level 1, and there's 2 for level 2, 2 for level 3, and 2 for level 4. So right now we'll take a look at these 2, and the cool thing is we get to pick one and automatically gain it. So we have one here that's the Herbalist, and it says it's a deed, and we can veil it, which means we can go ahead and do exactly what this is. Veiling is turning it like this in order to heal 1 at a Plains location. Hey, that could come in handy, especially because we're going to be hanging out on this side of the board. We've got Plains locations here, 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 and even here. So in amongst all the cards we likely need to go to could be very useful. This one, on the other hand, is called Templar, and this one says fight +2. Only against demons though, so they have to have the keyword of demon in order for it to give you that bonus. So something like the the serpent up here could actually, we could benefit by having +2 fight if we were fighting him. So this is a really, really tough choice because one is healing me as I go, and we already know mountain locations I heal at, but as you can see on this side of the board, very little mountain locations over here. I got so many over here, and we covered this earlier in the video. We had mountains all along here. I think we're gonna need this healing. I think it's gonna be really cool to be able to just tap the card and automatically, or veil it, I should say. I gotta stop saying tap, in order to heal. So I'm gonna go with the healing one. I know it sounds like we probably should go, it's tough. Because you never know when you're gonna run into a demon though, that you're gonna probably want that fight too. Oh, that's really tough. You know what, guys? At the same time, Vognus has had a really difficult time fighting. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna take the +2 fight. I know this might seem a little bit sketchy in that it's really scenario based and it's very random if we end up running into a demon. I'm not sure what the frequency is of finding a demon, but we've seen them in play already. This would be a really nice help to us. And stuff like that, but I've got to make a choice, and I'm going to go with that one because at the end of the day, it may end up helping us when we go ahead and fight our final character. And actually, you know what, guys? I'm absolutely bang on here. As I look up here at our Ancient card, you'll notice the keyword right underneath of him is Demon. So guess what, guys? there was no better card to choose in this case. We're going to need this to help us out in our fight. So that was a good choice. Well done, Adam. Patting myself on the back here. Okay, so we've now gone ahead and successfully completed our first chapter, which is really exciting. So what we're going to go ahead and do is flip this chapter over, and I'll read what we're running into in the second chapter of the Rescue Villagers. So while traveling the wilderness, you manage, and this would be while Vognus traverses the wilderness, you manage to release scores of captured villagers from their enemies' hidden dungeons, reuniting family and friends with their loved ones. Oh, aren't you the best? The thankful tribesmen shower you with gifts and charms, and some even ask to join your party. The shifty stranger implores you to continue to aid their cause, but you wonder if you can trust this suspicious character. Interesting. Okay. So we have to complete. We need to find 5 more gold. Wonderful. We have so much gold right now. That's a lie. We need to do a regale action. Okay. And then keywords, we need stranger, quest, and ally. All right. Well, let's take a look at what we've got over here. We've already got the quest card, so we're going to have to remember not to chuck that one. So I'm going to put this one maybe over here. I'm going to kind of keep the right side of the tray for items which we need to keep for the story or chapter, and then on the left will be things we want to try to explore, discover, all that kind of stuff, like the Dwarven Axe, for instance. Let's see here. We got ally and stranger. I really don't think we have any allies and strangers because we got enemies and an axe here. So those are what we're going after now. So we really need to focus, and it looks like the 2 options are quests. Typically seem to come from mountain locations is what it's saying by the color. And of course, if we're looking at strangers, they typically come from the plains, but they can come from anywhere. There's just the odds are higher. So we do have 1 extra AP left on this current day because we finished our first chapter, which is very exciting. Now, the one thing we don't want to do is have Vognus sit around in the Grand Plains, because if he lands and ends his turn in the Grand Plains, he takes 1 damage and 1 HP damage, and we don't want that. And his horse has already been gassed out from the adventuring we've already done in the previous video, so I need to get out of here. Although I really want to focus on getting to an area that is going to give us either a quest or an ally. So the risk here is, oh, and sorry, this is actually, it looks, I might have said mountains, that's actually tagging itself as purple. I'm just going a little blind. That's more so for the Badlands. So we need to either head to the Badlands or the plains. But you know what, we don't have much of a choice here. We're already at full health. We could head back to the Rising Bluffs. We could also head over here, but we'll get hit for doom. We could also head down here to the Shrouded Glade. But you know what, this might not be a bad choice, because if we go down here, we can start to head over and maybe start knocking out some of these ancient cards as we kind of wrap around. We're going to have to make our way up here at some point. So let's head down to the Shrouded Glade. I like that idea. So we're going to head here. Now we are going to lose an AP, and it's going to put us in a precarious position because we have to pull an encounter card because there is none there. So we're going to go ahead and pull that for the forest. We're going to hope that we don't get anything too nasty. Okay, we found the Thieves Guild. Very cool. So we need either a 5 study to beat this, or we need a 6 will. Well, 6 will is doable if I spend an entire turn there, maybe on the next turn. It's considered a quest, and it's destroy and force. But guys, we've got the quest. So this might be something we need to do. Actually, you know what? This is exactly what we need to do. We're here. Let's get it done. So I may end up spending my next turn focusing on this. It said at one time negotiation would have been a possibility, but now the Thieves Guild influence has spread too far and wide. Find their leader, locate their hideout, and bring them down. Okay, so there we go. That's what we're focusing on there at the Shrouded Glade. So Vognus has headed from the Grand Plains into the forest and found the Thieves Guild, and he's anxiously awaiting confronting that on his next turn. Okay. So that's essentially the end of Vognus's turn for today. Now the great news is that he didn't run into an enemy. Thank goodness, because it means we can start the next turn with a guaranteed 4 AP, reset. That's awesome. That's great news, because otherwise things would have been tough. We are progressing through the story, thank goodness. I know it took so long. You guys are probably gritting your teeth, but we got there. So we're going to go ahead now with the night phase. We're going to go ahead and talk about Vognus himself. He's ready to conk out for the night at the Thieves Guild. He's going to hang out at the door because in the morning he's going to try to get into that place and influence them using his will, I guess. So we're going to go ahead with that idea. So what we're going to do is actually pull a night card, of course, as we always do. And of course, because I put the dice on top, I won't forget to increase. We've now got, we're going to have 11 Doom. Ugh, I keep calling them Doom cards. They're called night cards. Just ignore me there. So we'll put that up top there. 11 cards in play. This is the 11th card. This is called the Tribal Tithe. Okay, interesting. And actually, one thing, just before I get going here, just want to make sure. Yes, before we go into the night phase, I'm going to do this. The besieged city was sitting here, and it cost us an extra gold to move to and from Sprawl City. This was only supposed to last one single day. It is an event. It has been a single day as of right now. The day just ended. This card is gone. Okay, so we're going to take this out of play so we don't forget about that, because the daytime just ended and we just now went into the nighttime. Okay, Tribal Tithe. Very cool looking artwork. I like that. Event is another one. Each hero must discard one rumor. No, are you serious? Okay, well guys, this is where having additional rumors can come in handy. We got to make some big choices here because, well, we're going to lose something. We have to. It says we have to discard a rumor. When it talks about discarding always comes from your hand. And when we're talking about rumors, well, rumors are in your hand. So we have to discard one of these 3 cards. The Vengeance we cannot discard, or we could, but I just don't want to. It has the keyword we need. Dwarven Axe is really cool, but we need to get to the Lonely Gorge. And guess what? As we travel along here, we probably could get to the Lonely Gorge and get that axe if we want to be a little greedy. So that might be worth holding on to because we may need it at some point. Just so you guys know, the Abbess of Penance, you'll see in the bottom there it says the Dark Mire. So way late in the game when he finally shows up in this mass world, he plans to show up here. So you know what? Having a Dwarven Axe here, I should hold on to that. So the one that I think I'm going to let go, even though it hurts a little bit because it has a lot of useful keywords that could come up later and I might need them, is the Troll. So I'm going to let that one go. We worked hard to get him, but I got to get rid of him. So we're going to discard that rumor. And of course, we'll read the bottom text of the Tribal Tithe. The Savage Wild Claws will not be satisfied without tribute. And apparently we had to give away some of our, maybe a tooth or something like that from the troll that we had kept. And we've thrown that away. Now the Shrouded Glade is going to fall into Gloom. Where is the Shroud? Of course, exactly where Vognus plans to spend his entire day next turn has fallen into Gloom. So it looked absolutely amazing and super, a place you'd want to spend your night, but has now, through the night, gone into Gloom and looks a little bit less attractive, except for the Thieves Guild door, which Vognus is very much happy to go into. So we're going to go ahead and discard this Tribal Tithe card now because it's an event. We've already covered it. It is off, out of the pile. Okay, so we're going to move into the dawn phase. The morning is awakening, although Vognus is passed out over in the corner. We're going to discard our encounter successes. We had none. We become unhidden, but we're not hidden anyway, so we're fine there. We are not defeated. We're going to unveil all of our skill cards. This is the first time we've ever really done this, I think, and then we're unveiling by tipping this back up, meaning that we have our horse full of energy after a good night's sleep and ready to charge around the land. And then we're going to move right into breaking camp in the daylight phase. So Vognus is waking up and he's feeling pretty good about himself right now. He's moved into the second chapter, has a lot to offer here. He has lots of HP. We're going to go ahead and add our AP on top so that we're ready to move into the world and see what we can accomplish. Now we know we need, if I could use my hands properly, we know we need the Thieves Guild in order to progress in our current chapter. So that's exactly what I plan to do. So the very first action that I choose to do with Vognus today is to use 1, and we are going to confront this quest. We are going to try to confront it. I am going to choose absolutely 100% the will. So we've got 2 right there and 2 here, so we have 4 dice. We get that, and we're going to go ahead and count our successes using gold. And our first roll, after spending 1 AP to confront, is as follows. Terrible. Now that's cocked pretty bad. If it was a little flatter, I'd keep it. It looks like a success, but I don't like that. I'm going to re-roll it. Oh, look at that. See, that's what happens. The dice don't lie. Okay, so we got ourselves our 1 success. Yay, that was not exactly what I wanted. So 1 success out of 6. We've already burned an AP. Well, I got to burn another one. We've got to do this in 1 day. Otherwise, we run into trouble. Now remember, we can also discard something. I could get rid of the Dwarven Axe to give myself a success, but we can only do that once a day. Oh my goodness, this is turning out terrible. So that is 2 successes. This is a really slow and painful process. We need to get a better roll here. So we're gonna go ahead and spend another AP to confront the quest. Come on guys, we can bust into this Thieves Guild. Oh, much better. And you know what? I think this 5 is just cocked well enough. I'm gonna re-roll it. I know I should have just taken that, but I'm re-rolling it. And look at that. That's what happens when you're honest. Things work out for you. So 3 gold, or 3 counters. That's 3 successes, guys. We are 1 away. That's amazing. And now, if we just use our last AP, we can go ahead and roll and hope to gain access to the Thieves Guild. And are you serious? You're gonna put me in that kind of position right now? That just happened. Okay, guys. So now what's happening here is we have to make a choice, and this is gonna be a tough choice. Because I can tell you right now, having this axe is useful. I just use my entire turn or entire day focusing on trying to overcome the Thieves Guild. I'm so close, I can't waste another day. So I'm gonna have to let the Dwarven Axe go. This hurts me because I really, really wanted this. It's a nice shiny weapon, but I gotta do it. I've gotta progress these chapters to even have a shot at going for our ancient here. If I spend too much time dilly-dallying and replaying to try, redoing a day trying to do this encounter again and keep the axe, I'm just burning time. And if we got time, we can explore later. So I'm gonna let that axe go to give me the extra success I needed in order to complete this Thieves Guild card. So that's awesome. And the real reason I did that is, check it out, guys. 4 gold coins. Or we can grab from the loot bag. I am absolutely taking those 4 coins. This puts us at a spot where now we have 1 gold away from being able to do our regale action. We also are definitely not going to take the green indicated title card, which would be this card here. We're going to keep this card because we want the quest keyword. We're going to put it into our rumors, and that's awesome. Vognus at this point, it is now end of day. He's burnt everything, although he's not hurt in any way, so that's awesome. He's gonna conk out for the night. And we're gonna move into the next, I guess we'll go into the next night phase, but this is gonna be pretty tight. I might have to end the video a little bit earlier here. Actually, this might be pretty good timing. So we'll go ahead and do as much of the night as we can here. So the night card, sadly, because I used every action and I was sitting, oh, you know what? I'm not done, guys. I'm not done. Not done. I'm using, oh no, what do I do here? Oh, this is a quest. So if I move here using the horse, I'm using the horse because it's a free move action to get myself out of the Shrouded Glade, so I don't get hit by the 1 AP damage. I'm going to move into here, but I'm not choosing to encounter this. This doesn't count as an encounter card. It's considered a quest, so you don't automatically encounter it, which is perfect. I'm safe. But at the end of the day, I'm still taking a damage, but at least I'm here and I'm ready to encounter it next turn. It just gets me there closer. I'm already taking damage anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take that damage, ouch, for being there. And that's essentially it. So what I'm going to do is, that's where I'm going to stop. We're going to begin the night phase in the next video. So guys, if there's anything that you want to mention comments-wise, strategy-wise, anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I really hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough so far. I'm really enjoying this game, actually. It's quite fun to, and if you're off camera, to be honest, playing this alone, solo, you really can weave a story. I'm doing my best to do that as I talk through it, but it is kind of tough, but it'd be easier on you guys. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and keep on rolling solo.